Okay guys, welcome to another 1/6 Galaxies video. Obviously I have not been all that active over the last couple of months, and I'll give you the reason for that. Basically, I've been a lot more active on the Facebook page than I have been the YouTube, simply because the Facebook Live feature now works on mobile phones, and I've never been able to get the YouTube Live feature to work on my phone. So basically that's the main reason for that. So if you do want more updates, I do advise that you either comment on the video and I can send you the link to the group invite, or have attached the group link to various other videos. So comment on that and I will send you that so you can join the Facebook group. So basically what I was going to do is I was just going to do a quick video, or a medium-sized video, just looking at some of the stuff that I've added to the Facebook page recently, but not YouTube itself. Okay, so first of all is the Force Awakens Luke Skywalker. My original opinion was that, yeah, he could have, well, obviously there wasn't much he could come with, since he didn't do anything in the film. I believe that the Australian price probably was a little bit too much for him. I paid, I think it was $3.20, and I thought that might have been stretching it a tiny bit, but it was a cool figure, and the prototype for the Episode 8 Luke did use the same head sculpt, so I'm hoping for people who don't own this that the Episode 8 one does include a different sculpt, and hopefully they are working on some accessories and whatnot. Hopefully it's going to be like the Rey from last time, where they couldn't show certain accessories and then they popped up and appeared. Obviously they didn't have the choice with this one, and the fact that they had to try and ship him out because he was already, the pre-order was a year long when they started shipping him out. Alright, this one here is a bit more obscure. It's the Forces of Destiny Sabine. When you squeeze her legs, she does a little shooting thing. This one here was $30 US, so about $40 Australian. I've only heard of one Australian retailer having her, and that was Comic Book Heroes. I believe they sold out. The helmet just slides off. I'll just put the phone down to do that. So yeah, the helmet just slides off and then you have it. The likeness, yeah, the sculpt is what you would expect from a $40 Hasbro or Mattel figure. But it is pretty close to the Forces of Destiny Sabine, not the Rebel Sabine. Her face is animated differently between the two shows, and this is a good likeness to the Forces of Destiny Sabine, and and it was a lot better than the original photos that they showed. I thought they were going to use they were going with, oh, it's the head of the actress that portrays her, but then they lightened it up a lot and it looked like she does in Forces of Destiny. Okay, so another figure that a lot of people didn't really pick up. Yeah, the Forces of Destiny stuff doesn't come with a stand, and as you can see, that's quite annoying. So you get the the Force Awakens exclusive Rey in the Resistance outfit. Now again, this one was $3.30 or $3.20 Australian, $3.30 Australian, I think. I picked it up because it was the last one at the store that I visited, and I had the Luke. The Luke had already arrived, and I thought, well, the Luke was being shipped out, basically, and I thought, well, I'll get her to go off the Luke. And now we have the Episode 8 Rey, which I agree would be a huge improvement. The sculpt looks really good, and it comes with the porgs and the extra lightsaber piece. And the blade's actually ignited, because obviously this one doesn't come with the blade, because of the end scene, because I never actually turned it on. Okay, so next up is the Wonder Woman. Now, I really like this figure. I got $50 off it. The sculpt is great. I haven't had any troubles with the hair or anything. What I will say is, though, I feel like the wrist pegs are, and you can probably even just see it, like even now there is a gap with the hand and the wrist there. Probably the loosest wrist pegs I've ever seen on a figure. Moving the hands does tend to make the hands fall off, just moving them side to side. You get the really cool stand, and I've kind of made it look as dynamic as I really want to without bending the rubber body, because I am of course scared that that rubber will crease or break or something to that extent. Okay, the next figure is a lot of an older one, and it is the Resident Evil Jill Valentine. I picked this one up at a steal at 199 Australian. Can't quite recall what that is in US, but it's a lot better than the crazy eBay prices, and it was practically all complete except for one accessory. It was like a little tin of fruit or something, a health pack or something that just clips onto a belt, and with missing, that's the only thing that was missing. I was quite happy with that. The other thing is this here is a pain to get to sit right, so I'll probably just take that off and just use it without the comm system. But overall, for a figure that was originally released in 2010, so it's almost 8 years old, I am more than happy with it. And of course the articulation is still there and everything. She doesn't have torso articulation, because underneath the suit it is a rubber body. This one looks like, I mean, apparently the original owner had it in a museum pose anyway, but as far as I can tell, there's no ripping or anything going on. So the older figures do seem to last if you treat them with care, which is cool. Personally, I haven't had any real issues. The only issue I've encountered for rubber body is my Gamora. Has a little crease from where I originally had her posed for. I think I had it posed for a couple of weeks, and I went, oh, I should have moved the arm back down. But other than that, yeah, I'm just really scared with Wonder Woman. The next figure is not really a figure, but a really cool display piece, is the Zero R2-D2. Now, controversy again, because he is slightly smaller than the Sideshow and Hot Toys versions. Now, I think someone else did a comparison. He was only 1 centimeter smaller. The real difference is he's not as fat and he's not as wide as the Hot Toy or Sideshow version. Though I have the clean die-cast Tamashii 3PO. I never picked up the Sideshow 3PO because I didn't feel a need to, and I would rather collect new characters rather than variants. Like Rey, Skywalker, and Solo are really only the variants that I have, and I'll probably have more than one layer now too. But this aside, yeah, I do have the Sideshow R2 at home. I picked this up because he's remote control and does all the noises and everything. He's quite cool. As you can see, he comes up to Jill Valentine's waist, and if I bring in our next figure that we're going to look at, which is Erso, he's at her waist, which I reckon that would be a pretty good or pretty close scale. So I'm really happy with this guy. Some people might hate him. Yes, he was $2.99 Australian, but he was cheaper than the Hot Toy R2-D2, so I was happy with that. Alright, Jyn Erso Deluxe. So I've gone with like a bit of a different look. I've got her Battlefront blaster with the baton and the Jetta helmet. I just thought I'd go with something different. The head sculpt is really cool, and it definitely does capture Jyn Erso. Great detailing on the blaster. You got the Death Star plans there. I clipped them onto the holster. I just thought it'd be another cool alternate thing to do. And there you have the open baton. And the scarf is removable. The hat is magnetic, and there is her hairpiece is back in the original box. Really cool stand. Now, what I like about this figure, and I said it on the Facebook page, so I'll say it here. What I really like about this figure is it captures kind of what they would have been doing with different Star Wars things. So in Battlefront, she has her pistol. Now, this gun started as a pistol, and it comes apart, and there's a whole heap of different functions that you can have with it. There's a pistol version, there's a sniper rifle version, and there's this version. That's her ability in the actual Battlefront game, which I thought was really cool, but they put that in. Now, I'm assuming that she originally was supposed to have, because she was originally Sergeant Jyn Erso, and then they rewrote parts of the story, added scenes here, took scenes away there, etc., etc., whatever they did. Rogue One, I really liked Rogue One. I thought it was a great film. And I just really liked the fact that this Jyn Erso it came what she had in Battlefront, because I played as her a lot in the single player mode, and I tried to use her when I could in the online game. So I really like the fact that they included her Battlefront gear. And the rest of the accessories that come with her are really cool as well. Now, the other thing that they've been doing more and more of is that they've been filling in, well, not really mistakes, but just things that didn't really make sense. One of those involves Mon Mothma. There was a novel, I'm not going to name the novel because I don't know which one it is, and out of spoiler, I'm not going to actually say what it is. But if you look up or Google Chandrila Forced Awakens or something like that, or what happened to Chandrila, there's an extra story that the novel covered about Mon Mothma, and probably perhaps why we probably won't get a Mon Mothma return, but we have an Admiral Akbar return in episode 7, basically. That's the reason why. There was another one involving R2. In A New Hope, I've never really paid that much attention to this, and I kind of can't believe that I missed this, really. But supposedly there's a thing with when Luke's training and you swing the saber around, Alec Guinness kind of looks like he has his hand on R2, and he has this like expression on his face, and Han kind of looks at him. There's like a brief second of silence, and then Han tells them that they're coming up upon wherever they are, or he says the Hokie religion line. Like I said, I'm not sure when this occurs aboard the Millennium Falcon New Hope, but it does occur. Basically, in the rehash novel, they said Obi-Wan Kenobi puts his hand on R2 and whispers, "It's good to travel with you again, my old friend." Stating that Obi-Wan Kenobi did indeed remember R2, but from his a certain point of view quote, he never owned R2-D2. R2-D2 belonged to Anakin, then Padme, then back to Anakin, then Captain Antilles, and so forth. One of those owners was never Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he did, in fact, never own a droid, but they clarified the fact that he did remember the droid, which, again, I thought was a really cool touch. Alright, the next character we're looking at is the Imperial Death Star Gunner. Now, for those of you who aren't on the Facebook page and didn't see this, I do in fact have two. One of them is at my parents' place, because as you know, I live in Mount Isa, and my collection is housed in Brisbane. But basically, I have two of these. One of them is at my parents' place and will have the thick outer jacket on. I took the jacket off pretty much because of the ridiculous heat here, and I was afraid that it would start flaking or whatnot. Now, there is a really cool piece of detail. He has his old communicator. If you've owned the Hasbro figure, you would remember this, because this piece here is actually on the old 1996 Kenner Hasbro figure, which I thought was a nice touch. What's missing, though, is the flight suit that's underneath his padded suit does not have the Imperial stars. I was quite disappointed in that fact, but it is what it is. And again, I bought two of them for, I think it was $5.60 Australian. One of them was $3.20, the other one was $2.60. About there, maybe even a little bit less. One of them might have been $2.50. I didn't know, but a friend of mine was actually selling his for $2.50, so I could have gotten two for $500. But I afterpaid the second one, so it didn't really hurt me all that much. But I got 2 of them to have both looks, and I will display both of them with Tarkin when Tarkin is eventually released. Obviously, again, there wasn't much he could have come with, and I do really like it. You do have to attach this piece when you open him. Check to make sure it is actually in there, because I had my second one, the stick had actually fallen down through the packaging and was stuck to the instruction book. The first one I got, it was fine, but I've heard that it has been moving around. Alright, we're almost done. I ordered the Esmus Legolas. Now, I will, when I take this guy back to Brisbane with me, I will do a look comparing him to the 2006 Sideshow version. This is a huge improvement going off memory. He has all the arrows, and the hand is really cool. As you can see, he has gaps in his fingers which allow him to hold extra arrows. So you can have him holding 2 arrows at once, which I thought was really cool. This stand, I didn't get the dynamic stand version, but if you do have the dynamic stand version, you can actually make it look like that he's firing 2 arrows mid-air, or like he's standing on top firing 2 arrows. And if you use one of the Marvel flight stands or the Hot Toys flight stands, you can have him aiming arrows in mid-air, which I thought was quite cool. The articulation, the head articulation is kind of hindered by the fact that he has the quiver on the back and the fact that it's sculpted hair. But some people have told me that the head on mine is a lot higher than what other people have seen. But I didn't do anything. This is how it came. Again, I can't really make him look up. I can make him look down and up a little bit, but other than that, but yeah, people have told me that mine, the head is a lot higher than what they've seen. So like you can just see that the arrows just, the arrows just slot in between his fingers. They do slide out quite easily because it is a pretty decent gap. But if you've just got him in a museum pose like so, and not moving him around, the arrows stay there pretty well. Mine was the second batch, because I got mine late from Sideshow, not from Esmus Directors. They could have corrected the head issue. I didn't even know there was an issue. But that's just what I noticed. Alright, this one I got today. I just did it on the live Facebook page. It is Billy from Wolfenstein 2. This is what you got if you ordered the collector's edition. So I know obviously a lot of people are going to complain straight away about the paint, and the weapons have really good detail, but they have a really plain paint app. But he can, so he has wrist articulation, and the weapons are very top heavy because they are very solid for some reason. They're not die cast, but they are extremely solid. He has knee joint that far. The boots do come off, but they're built like Action Man boots, so they do allow him to stand on his own. He comes with an alternative jacket. The hands do come off. He does not come with alternative hands, so we can't dual wield, which I thought was a bit unfortunate. But the head looks down, up, sort of side to side. He comes with an alternative jacket, and he comes with a bunch of different weapons as well. Now, I am actually pretty happy with this, because this was only about $80. And I know you're going to say, well, for that detail, $80, it should be a lot more. That's $80 Australian. It's probably a lot damn cheap in the US. The game was $80. It was $140 for the game and the figure. $60. No, he was only $60. Yeah, so he was $60 because the game was $80, and the total was $140. So yeah, this was a $60 figure. I'll have to correct that in the Facebook video. But for $60, I'm not complaining. And it's a Bethesda Studios Collector's Edition, and Bethesda are known for giving us pretty good stuff. The last thing I was going to show is I was working on, or have been working on a custom Bloodborne hunter. I need to source a hat for him, and I was going to paint this silver because I've got a sword going through the styrofoam there to make the Kirk hammer, if you're unfamiliar with Bloodborne. It's one of their weapons, and I've got like pants and a shirt in there. And I made a scarf, and he's got a mask there. So yeah, this is like I was going to make a female hunter, but I ended up coming across a cheap, again the same mate that was selling the Death Star gunner, but he was selling a Hot Toys body with the head, and I thought, why not? I was always planning to make a hunter, so I will just use that. And they are Lord of the Rings Boromir gauntlets there. So yeah, this is pretty much everything. I do have Alan Ripley back in Brisbane, second Death Star gunner, Doctor Strange, and hopefully very soon the Ghostbusters. So I will be giving a lot more videos and a lot more pictures and stuff in December. Not getting anything else shipped up to me here, simply because I am running out of the room for it. But yeah, I thought you guys just would like an update. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you wanted to get into the Facebook page and see the updates sooner, just comment and I'll post the link or whatever. Or if you're already on the Facebook page, that's really cool. Alright, thanks guys.